All right, so fresh new Wake Up Water samples just came in. We're gonna give them a try now. We've been working kind of behind the scenes to basically just fix up the product a little bit. I think it's it's really great where it is now, but we're always looking to improve, always trying to find ways to make it a little bit better. So right now, for example, on Amazon we've got a 4-star rating. We'd love to be able to get that up to, a 4.3, 4.5, whatever, and always taking into account customers' feedback. So a lot of the feedback we've been getting from people is that, we use stevia in our product. So there's a little bit of that aftertaste. So people want that to kind of be reduced a little bit. There's varying feedback on the sweetness level. So some people want it to be a little bit more sweet. Some people want it to be a little less sweet. So it's really hard to please everybody, but like I said, always trying to make improvements, always trying to make the product better. So we did just get the fresh Wake Up Water samples in here. So I'm gonna get, whip these up, get these taken out, and see what we're working with here. So grab some glasses here. I think the most challenging part about the sampling is just trying to figure out like what exactly you want to change about it, because we can all taste the drink and say, oh, that's good or that's not good, but when you're trying to find ways to improve it, it can be really difficult. Like sometimes you don't know what to change. It's hard to kind of like put into words and tell the beverage development team like what you're even looking to change about the product. So it's definitely a bit challenging in that regard, but I'm just gonna put this down here, all right, totally just turned this off while we were putting it in the tripod here. But we are back. All right, let's see here. All right, so we got the 2 here, I need my 3rd. I need little spoons to stir up the product. I need, let's see. I got the spoons here. And then what else do I need? Oh, notebook. Gotta get my notebook here. Take some notes, get some feedback for the team. All right. All right, here. I'm just going right down to the knees. This one. All right, so it's also helpful keeping the notes while you're doing this, because it allows you to kind of look back on the different iterations of the product. So you can look back at like what tweaks you wanted to make last time, and see like if those tweaks were actually made, see if there were any improvements to the product. So yeah, the notes are very, very helpful. It also just lets you kind of get your thoughts down on paper and then review them and kind of question yourself. If you're like, oh, like this needs a little bit more flavor, this needs a little bit more sweetness, whatever it is, it gives you a chance to kind of like look at that and then look back at them and say, okay, like maybe I was a little too harsh on that, or maybe, I tried it again and I don't think that anymore. So notes are always super helpful here. So let's see, I'm gonna do the lemon going first. Lemon actually is our top seller, minus taking out the variety pack, just like a single flavor. The lemon is the best seller for Wake Up Water. So a fan favorite, and that's where it gets a little tricky, because when people really like the product, you don't want to change it too much and then like upset the people that actually like the product. So the whole goal is, how can we maintain the integrity of the product? How can we keep it so that the existing customers still love the product, but that we can get some of these people that don't love it as much, or do want to see some changes? How do we get them on board with the product as well? Lemon's going in here. Give that a little stir. And I also love paying attention to like the smell, the aroma of the product as well, because the way our senses work, the aroma actually plays a huge part in how we perceive the taste of the beverage. So you really want to, have a really great smelling product as well as having a great tasting product. Yeah, so that's giving an amazing, freshly squeezed lemon smell to it, which is exactly what we're going for. Our whole, the whole product is basically supposed to be like a better for you, healthier energy drink. And so we're using very minimal ingredients, basically using natural caffeine, electrolytes, B vitamins, a little bit of flavor, a little stevia to sweeten it. And so with that, you're kind of limited as to exactly what you can do, what you can't do. If we were to move on to artificial ingredients, or we wanted to load the product up with sugar, we would be able to create, basically anything we wanted here, but we kind of put some parameters around it because we are limiting the amount of ingredients we're putting in and limiting the type of ingredients we're putting in. But I think overall it's worth. I think that's the new move. I think brands and consumers are really looking for those better for you brands, and they're picking up on the fact that even if a product doesn't have sugar, it might not be healthy. It might have artificial ingredients, it may have artificial sweeteners, different types of flavorings that just aren't great for you. So it's always good to, be on trends, stay true to your product. And, with that, you got to make sure you still good tasting product. So let's see how this, like I said, smell was great. It's actually really good. So I think that the previous notes we had on this one were we needed it to be a little bit more flavorful. It was almost too subtle of a lemon. We go with subtle flavors. We don't want an overpowering flavor, but the previous lemon we had was very, very light. And we wanted to give it more flavor without being overpowering and without being too sweet. So we were kind of playing around with the sourness levels and the tartness levels. But I think this kind of does the job there. I mean, it gives you a nice, refreshing burst of lemon. Feels super refreshing, tastes super refreshing, but it's not overpowering. I'm trying to think of what I can tweak with that. I mean, I think if I had to nitpick over it, I think it's a little too tart now. I think maybe we overcompensated. We didn't think it was tart enough. We didn't think it was flavorful enough. It may be just a bit too far on that end now. I think we may have overshot it just a bit, which is fine because you give the feedback and then you can find that middle ground, that happy medium. And I think that's what we're gonna head back and do with this one. I think the tartness level a bit too high. Good lemon flavor, definitely good lemon flavor there. I definitely don't want to adjust that too much. Sweetness I think is there. It's not too sweet, but I don't know, the more, it's funny, the more and more you drink the product when you're doing these samplings, you start to second guess yourself a little bit, and because your taste buds actually get used to the product. And so I don't know if you guys have had, drinks before where you take one sip of it and you're like, okay, it's good, but what's going on here? Then you take a second sip, third sip, and then, you're halfway through and you're like, wait, this thing's great. Your body, your taste buds actually get used to it a little bit, which is interesting. But you have to kind of take everything into account, that first sip all the way through the end of the drink. So I think for this one, I think we're just about there. Flavor wise and just overall profile of the product, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. I think there's some room for improvement, but maybe even a 9. Honestly, this lemon is really, really good, but the lemon has always been good in my opinion. So we're kind of like splitting hairs here. We're trying to make it a little bit better without ruining the product. So sometimes you kind of tweak things so much, or you try to improve things so much, you actually make it worse. So that's what I'm kind of fearful with here. I don't want to go changing things too much and then, you know, have the consumers that love the product not love it anymore. So yeah, I think that's it. I think the tartness level could be dropped a little bit. I think the flavor's good. I think we're sticking there that level wise. I think sweetness is good, so I don't think we're adjusting the stevia. So yeah, I think we're going back to them and we're saying pretty good to go, but let's just modify the tartness ever so slightly, bring that down a little bit, and then, you know, we'll get another revision of that one, but then that one should be good to go. So I think we're in a really good spot with the lemon right now. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. What's good about this product too, and why it's a little bit more flexible than say like a traditional beverage brand, is that because they come in stick packs, you can actually adjust the flavor to your liking. And so it gives you a little bit of versatility there where, you know, if you have whatever, a Gatorade or, you know, Body Armor, coconut water, whatever you're drinking, you have that off the shelf and it's a bottle. There's really not much you can do. I guess you could dilute it yourself a little bit if you wanted to, but there's really no like modifying the taste. Like it's just you get what the drink is. With this, it's like if you want a stronger taste profile, you can go ahead and not use as much water. If you want something that's very subtle, you know, you just dilute it more. You just add more water. So like someone like me, I'm probably using, for a wake up water, I'm probably using like 12 ounces because I like kind of like in the middle. I actually really like the flavor. So like if I could, I would probably do like 6 or 8 ounces, but then you don't really get to enjoy the product as much. Like you don't get as much drink. So I want to actually like enjoy the drink a little bit more. So I'm probably going like 12 ounces, but I know plenty of people that, you know, will throw this in 20, 24 ounces because they just want such a subtle taste, such a subtle taste profile. So next up, we've got the mango. The mango has been really well received as well. I think there's, you know, mango and some of these, I mean, all these flavors really, there's a fine line between making it taste like really good and then, you know, almost kind of having it have a candy-like taste to it. And I think the mango was guilty of that for a while before we made some adjustments there. I think it's gotten really good. I don't think, this one was pretty close to being done the last time around. So let's see. Really nice mango taste there, or smell there. That's very, honestly, the aroma might be a little too much, to be honest. It kind of like really kind of hits you, but I mean, you can smell that it's fresh, which is good. That's what we're going for. So that's very good. Wow. That's see, this is where it gets hard, because what do you change about that? What do you change? I mean, I think mango might be good to go. I think mango might be good to go. Because again, like when you get to a spot where you taste it and you're like, wow, that's great. If you go back and try to make a little change, say you're like, oh, well, like what if I could make it better by doing this? You might ruin the whole thing. You might take a massive step backwards. When you get that right combination of ingredients and you taste and you're like, that's great, you're better off just leaving it. And it doesn't matter if it happens, very early on in the iterations or if it happens later on. When you get to that point where you're super happy with it, stop. Don't make changes to it, because you start to overcorrect. You start to kind of like nitpick, and then what you think might improve it's going to make it worse, and now you have to then kind of get back to square one, go from there. Sometimes you're better off being like, you know what, great, let's roll with it. So I think that one's going to be good to go. I think the lemon, there was a little bit more there that I guess was obvious that we could improve upon. Whereas this, I just don't know. I just don't see. I think she's good. All right, well, last one here. We're kind of cruising through this here. We got the lemon and mango squared away and done. Now we've got citrus. And citrus is our newest flavor to the mix. It was the most recent addition to the brand portfolio, the flavor portfolio. And it's actually my personal favorite. So, like I've been saying, when something's really good, maybe you don't really want to tweak it. But part of this, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but part of this whole process and what we're trying to achieve here is we're actually adding more electrolytes in the product. We're moving to a really nice French sea salt, which is great for hydration. We're gonna have potassium, magnesium, and so all things that we currently have, but just at lower levels. We were much more focused on like the energy, like the caffeine aspect of it, and that's great, and we're gonna definitely maintain that because that's the whole point of the product, is like providing a healthier energy drink. So it can swap out your energy drink, your coffee, what have you. But some of the feedback we were getting were like, hey, look, this is great. It doesn't dehydrate as much as a coffee would or some of these other energy drinks, because caffeine will do that to you. So they liked that, but there was room to add more, I thought. So why not? Why not go and try to create the best possible product? Like, if we can give customers more of the good stuff, why not do that? The citrus, I think what we did, okay, yeah, this is what we were doing with citrus. So last round, citrus was really good, but we kind of needed to boost the flavor up a little bit. It was really subtle, really subtle. And it was weird. The flavor was subtle, but there was actually a bit too much like acidity. So I think with all these like citrus fruits, like you get a little bit of acidity, kind of gives it some of its like sourness, tartness. What was weird about the citrus was it was good. It was probably like a 7.5 out of 10, but it almost like the acidity kind of overpowered the flavor, and we don't want that. Like, we want to lead with flavor, to have some of that acidity backing it up, giving it that sour, tart taste, but very slightly, and not have it be overpowering. I think it was at first. So let's see if we were able to address that with this. It was a pretty minor tweak. Like, that's really all we wanted. We just wanted a little bit less acidity and a little more flavor. So let's see how this one smells. Good. It's good. I can't pinpoint exactly what my thoughts are. I think it's good, but there's room for improvement with this one. I don't know what it is though. it honestly might still be a little too acidic. I think it might be a little too acidic. I think it's kind of given that zapping, that like little stinging as it goes down, like very minor, but it's there. And it's something that I would want to make sure we correct before we roll out. I think more water, I think diluting it more would help, but not everyone's going to dilute it. So, it has to be good enough where if you are only using 8 ounces, 10 ounces, it's got to be good enough for those individuals as well. And I think the current citrus is, but again, whenever you're adding more of anything, so like we're adding more electrolytes, we're adding more salt, we're adding more potassium, magnesium, it's going to alter things. So like any changes you make, it's not just flavor, like any inputs to the formula is going to alter things. It's going to impact the taste. So with this, I think maybe addressing the acidity would help. The flavor's good. Yeah, it's the acidity. And I know like citrus and even like lemon and orange and some of these, citrus fruits, like they're gonna have a little bit of that. But I think making sure that it's manageable and it's not over the top is important. So I think, to be honest, out of all the taste tests I've done, I think this one, it was a little bit, maybe the most straightforward in terms of like what we need to address, which is great. Because sometimes you leave these things and your head is spinning and you're like, I don't even know what changes to make. I think we've got a pretty good kind of, path forward here. I think the citrus, which we just tried, maybe we go a little bit less acid there, a little bit less acidic. And that can be done two ways. You can dial back citric acid, you can dial back the flavor a little bit because citrus and lemon, these fruits are just naturally acidic. And so I think dialing one of those, back or both would be good. But I think, I think overall pretty good. I'm happy with these ones. This is for this new kind of version of the product. This is round 4. So the coconut and orange were done after 3 rounds. This is the 4th round, and I think we could be done after round 5. Like, I think if we get these revisions done, I think we're in a pretty good spot. And this will always be like changing. Like even when we get to the spot where we're super happy with these, you're never gonna know how the market's gonna take it. And so when we roll out the new iteration, the new version, with more electrolytes, with which will, with what will be a slightly different taste of the product, you're going to see what the market says. The market might love it. The market might not love it. So it's one of those things, you got to get to the spot where you're super happy with it, but then you have to just get it out there, because when you start selling to thousands and millions of customers, you'll get that feedback. And it's this constant feedback loop where you're getting feedback from all these different customers trying the product and buying it. And it's customers that have had it before that love the existing product. We'll see, like, are they gonna love this minor change? Or are they gonna like want it to go back to the old version? And then new customers, like, how are they going to perceive the product? How are they gonna experience it? What's their experience gonna be like with it? And we can kind of compare that with the feedback we're getting now. So say we have an 85% or 90% approval rating for the product, where everyone's like, 90% of people are like, this is great. And 10% of people think it could be better. If we roll this out and we find that 30% of people are like, this could be a lot better, might not have been a great change. But if we roll this out and all of a sudden 5% of people, 2% of people are saying there could be a little bit of change, and you're getting like a 95, 98% approval rating, that's a great change. So I think, the biggest thing is just, putting it out there and listening to customers and getting that feedback. It's the best thing you can do with any product or service. Get out there, get customer feedback. We do post-purchase surveys, obviously reviews on our website, TikTok Shop, Amazon, and you just got to pay close attention to that. You got to see what people are saying, and you need to address it so that those people like get what they're looking for. That's the biggest thing. Like you want to make products that the customers are happy about, and they'll tell you if they're happy or not, and you just got to listen to them. It's up to you to listen to them. But I think any sort of product development process is going to be just that. It's going to be a process, and it starts with getting those samples in, whether you're making them or you have a beverage development company, a manufacturer that can help facilitate, ingredient suppliers that can help facilitate the process. Get those samples in, try the product, take notes, figure out what you want to improve, send that feedback, get new samples in, and continue to try. And that iterative process will eventually yield what should be like a finished product that you're super happy with. And then as you grow, like you're just constantly looking to change and tweak things and improve. All the brands do it, and so Wake Up Water is no different. So yeah, that's it, guys. Pretty good round here. I've had some that are longer, I've had some that are shorter, but I think I'm pretty happy with like how direct my feedback is going to be. I think I know exactly what to go with here, and I think being on camera and actually having the video helps too, because it kind of makes you like get to that decision quicker, because you don't want to have this video be dragging on. So sometimes if I'm just doing it myself, or if I've got friends over doing it, it can take a while. We keep revisiting different products, we keep revisiting different flavors and second guessing ourselves. So this is helpful. Yeah, if you guys found this to be helpful at all, if you found it enjoyable and entertaining, would really appreciate you guys subscribing, following along. I'm gonna try to do a better job posting more content as I'm building this brand. I think it's really cool. I've always been super fascinated with people growing businesses and growing their brands, and I just find it really cool to see like the behind the scenes and what goes actually into making the products that you guys are consuming, and what goes into building great businesses. So I'm gonna do the best I can documenting it. If there's anything in particular that you guys want to see, let me know. Like I would love just feedback on like what you guys want to see, what types of content, what parts of the business you want to see. I'll be an open book. I'll share as much as I can. Not looking to sell you anything. It's I'm just trying to build a great business and hopefully encourage, motivate, inspire others to do the same. So if you guys wouldn't mind, would love you to toss a subscribe, and look out for more content. I'll be back here soon, guys. All right, thanks.